landed in Mauritius. Well, we totally did. And look at this view. We have to come see the view. Look at this view. Guys, it looks so nice. I'm gonna put on a super light face. We're just running down to breakfast. Let's see how fast I can do it. We landed yesterday. We flew all day yesterday. Well, not really all day. And Mauritius is 2 hours ahead, which is like 8 or 9 hours away from New York. I feel like this makeup is getting littler and littler. I don't have time. So I have on a look already. This is my look, guys. I have on a piece. I got this from the TikTok shop. Can you believe that? The TikTok shop got me. The TikTok shop got me. Okay. I already put on sunscreen, y'all. I think y'all know I use the Lancome sunscreen. Sunscreen, to me, it goes so well with like my makeup and stuff. It doesn't mess my makeup. And y'all know that's Mr. B in the background because obviously I'm here with my husband. Cause it's my anniversary trip. You know what I mean? Yeah. And of course I'm already thinking about next anniversary planning. Typical Tenicka. Just a little bit. This is what happens, guys. Okay? When you try to do a little bit, you end up doing the most. Last night we ended up watching Netflix and ordering room service after we got like a tour of the room. The room is stunning. Hey, the room is stunning, but it's the beach and vista views for me. It's the views that I think are what I like the most here. And I'm so excited. That's what I'm excited about the most. Prepare to be sick of me. Prepare to be sick of me. Okay. We're not going to be doing much. I don't even know if we're going to really be leaving the resort we came in. And all we're trying to do is rest, relax, enjoy one another's company. I want to commit to relaxing finally in my life. My little Laura Mercier pressed powder. Hello, Lovey. Mr. V's ready. What time is it, Lovey?
9:25. Breakfast is over at 10:30.
We're doing good. Yay, finally. We're doing good. I always carry this hourglass and I don't use it that much. I use it on the bottom lash. Let's see, is this a breakfast face? Yeah, this is a breakfast face. Bronze. One thing I would say about the airport in South Africa and just South Africa in general, which I hadn't ever really noticed, is the white people do not be wearing socks. Yeah, they be walking barefoot in the airport. The kids walking barefoot like, hey, what is going on with the Africans? Guys, are they okay that they don't have shoes on in the airport? Girl, the people have lost their minds, darling. When I tell you I scribble on the brow be scribbled on. Scribbled on brow in Mauritius. Scribbled on brow in Mauritius. The brows deserve better than this. This is the face. Take my hair down. I might do a half up, half down. Let's see. Okay, and I used this Shea Moisture Refresher Spray. I actually used this twice and it barely looks like I used anything. Shea Moisture Refresher Spray on my braids. I feel like it looks good. I took a long, incredible, amazing, wonderful, luscious shower last night. I'm gonna do a little bit of Pat McGrath. I want to say rest in peace to Pat McGrath's makeup line, but I don't think it's rest in peace yet, guys. I don't think it's rest in peace yet. And of course, the Victoria Beckham Portofino 97. Also, I got my nails done at the airport. It's just a plain gel nail. And it's like super neutral, but it's like clean, and I feel like it gives my nail a break. They all look cohesive, and I feel like that's worth it. My God, today, yes. This is how you do it. Yeah. Right? Get the décolleté. My mama actually doesn't really talk about décolletés like that, but I feel like my granny did. Skin's already kissing the sun, darn. Yeah. I need some earrings, no shade. I'm gonna take the cold dye back. Yeah, period. I have changed, darling, into a old nasty piece of swimsuit. I don't know if my little bits and bobs are popping out, but this is from Chalet. It's a Thai brand. Let me put my cover up on so y'all can see, but it's a little revealing. Okay, it's a number. Listen, it's my anniversary. we gotta give something. You can really see and get into it. It's very cute, it's very fab. And literally the beach is right here. So, not too far.
Doing sissy slides in both ears. Dice rolling on the Las Vegas strip tonight. Slip that on and we might miss the fight. Fuck a night, I keep the wallet in my shorty bag.
Greetings, guys. We spent a lot of hours on the beach, and now I'm going to the spa. I just changed real quick to a little smart casual outfit. I have my white wide leg pants from Rat and Boa. I had these for a while. I just couldn't really fit them. They wouldn't really tie up. And then I have this shirt from Amazon, and also this blue swimsuit is from Amazon. And I'm just going to the spa. I have a little spa sesh. Oh, and these shades are from Lorvay. A little Lorvay moment. And I'm just taking my bag from the hotel. Guys, we're stuck in limbo right now. Not us personally, not me and Mr. B personally, but us as a collective. I feel like every video I'm coming on and talking about American politics, even though I was like, I'm not gonna talk about American politics anymore, but I just feel like every time I travel, it seems like it's exasperated. I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, oh my goodness, how do we find ourselves in here? And I just feel like it's so crazy. One thing I will say that I've been watching online today on TikTok, and this could be old tea because it's like literally about to be 7 p.m. here, and it's probably like 9 o'clock in America. So I really don't know what's going on in America until after I wake up, because the bulk of the day happens while I'm asleep. So my tea is late. But it seems like people are just complaining because you have people who moved to Dubai as expats, aka glorified immigrants, and who've immigrated to the UAE and other parts of the world, who are complaining about being stuck in the middle of, you know, war and challenges. And people are like, oh, the rich people this and the rich people that. And I understand like the privilege it takes to live in a country like UAE, where it's extraordinarily expensive. And I just feel like people are just like, oh, they're just poking fun. But honestly, this is not something to think is funny, or to make fun of people who are stranded because they traveled. And people are like, oh, y'all are mad because you chose to travel during Trump and you shouldn't be traveling. And it's just like, we live in a country that is constantly in danger, where you could literally go to the grocery store and be a victim. Right? And that, I would argue, you are at a far greater risk than being abroad. And statistically, that is born to be true. I don't know what the statistics are lately, but that has historically been the truth for almost every citizen of almost every country outside of war. So I just think it's so shady for people to be like, you shouldn't be traveling anyway while this is going on. You know, you shouldn't. We have ICE at people's, knocking on people's door. Like, I know it sounds good to have this one-upism, or like now you have one up on somebody because they're traveling and you're not traveling, or they moved abroad and now they're a specific country that it just so happens to be literally across the Gulf from the country that the United States and Israel has attacked. That it's fair to say that. It's not fair to say that. Why would you say that to somebody while they're in the middle of a challenge? Or to be saying like, oh, finally it's time that these people know what it's like to be in a war zone. Guys, I assure you, I don't know. Let me just speak for myself. As someone who has traveled a lot, I was exhausted by the travel map, and I wanted to actually fly through Dubai. But I was like, I don't specifically want to do that because of what's going on, because there's been hints for a while, and you know, I've been traveling for a long time, and so I can recognize patterns. I also recognize when this crazy person says they're going to do something, 9 times out of 10 they're going to do it. There is a small chance they don't do it, like what happened with Greenland, but otherwise it's gonna happen. Now, what is this eyebrow doing? This is not my best work. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I just can see patterns of behavior. And so to be on the wiser side, now that doesn't mean that I haven't got caught up in situations before, because we all do. But y'all will make every excuse to make it seem like people who travel are so overindulgent and so irresponsible and engaging in just say you don't have the means or whatever. Here's the thing, guys. Something was happening in Mexico last week. Like, it is a risk almost always when you are exiting your home country, especially with the current U.S. politics the way that it is. And some people are willing to take that risk more than others. Whereas other people are like, you know what? The risk I'm willing to take is to send my kids to school in America, K through 12 public schools, knowing full well that we have a violence pipeline in schools, especially in suburbia America, you know, with the rise in violence. And so I'm just saying, you know, that are ongoing and challenging, and we just have to be careful. We just have to be careful out here, okay? We all have to be careful, but do not sit around and just dance because other people are in the thick of their suffering. No matter what it looks like, you know, it's just, I don't know if I just don't like it. I think it's like shady. It's like, girl, y'all really want to one up somebody. It's not fab to one up people with stuff dropping on their heads. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, they're not going to get the message while you making fun of them because something is dropping on their head. Like, girl, who are you bringing into the fold? Quite literally nobody. Okay? Listen, I saw something online about what they were talking about, Essence in New Orleans, and somebody was like tagged me in the video and we're saying Essence owes X amount of money to New Orleans, like this and that. I'm like, what? Why are y'all tagging me in that? What does that have to do with me? Why are y'all tagging me in that? Maybe they wanted me to make a closet confessions. I'm not going to make a closet confessions about Essence. Hello? Like, that's just not a part of my like brand ethos to just sit around and critique like major black institutions unless it's something egregious. But just like run of the mill let's have a conversation. No, I don't. It never gave it. I'm an Essence girl. Essence is just like a holy grail for me personally, like Essence Fest. Nobody is going to convince me that unless it's, you know, really egregious that's on, or because there are more people who are African. Like, I'm not go somewhere with that. I can't, listen, we need to be, there are ways that we can embrace the growing African, specifically Nigerian influence or West African influence happening globally, while also protecting our very specific ethnic group without being like tribal and xenophobic. Is that controversial to say? Is that groundbreaking? I don't think that's groundbreaking. I hope that's not groundbreaking though. Because that's really, I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. How did we get so far into the matrix? Speaking of which, I did a podcast on with Afropolitan. They asked me about like if I identified as a foundational Black American, and I said no, I don't identify as a foundational Black American. I don't identify as such. I understand what it means, and I don't identify. I haven't seen very many people who identify as a foundational Black American isn't like deeply xenophobic, and I'm not saying there aren't any that are, because I think the term was started to just in like an innocent way, I feel like, to just acknowledge Black Americans specifically who are multi-generational, who are descendant of Black American slaves, obviously, which I am one, from the growing diverse Black population within America. And when I say Black in this term, I mean growing Black racial group. And I was like, okay, I don't think it's anything wrong with that per se. But so much of what I see online in the foundational Black American movement is deeply xenophobic. And it's about like saying, oh, we are 400 years removed from Africa. We don't want to call ourselves African American. You on your own with that one. See, you're on your own with that one. I am African American. I am deeply proud of being African American. I don't think there's anything wrong with being an African American. I'm all for redefining specifically Black American and growing the term in a way that feels inclusive and even in a way that feels more specific, if it doesn't come at the expense of being divisive. Hello? Like, that's what I'm on. But I cannot get down with that kind of terminology. Also, I don't know anybody that calls themselves that in real life. And people are like, Sulan and Sulan. Those are TikTok and Twitter terms. I don't know. I haven't met a single elder Black, like my mama. My mama is an elder Black who calls himself that. Who even has heard of that term. Are they not our ancestors? Well, ancestors is for people that are gone. Excuse me. Are they not the people that are, you know, closer to our lineage than we are? Like, I'm just like, this is just ridiculous. I just can't get into it. I think it's divisive. The girls want to be divisive, and I just can't get into that. But you know, the people were coming at me in the comments. No, I think people who feel the need to constantly rename themselves in light of new populations gaining popularity have a low racial self-esteem. That's what I think. I have a high racial self-esteem. I don't go to Nigeria and feel inferior. Nobody can make me feel inferior because I come from the same ethnicity and ethnic group as Beyonce and Oprah and Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson and global icons and stars and celebrities. And I feel like my culture is well known and it's fab and it's amazing. And people indulge in it every single day. And so no, I don't buy into the people say we don't have culture. Who is people? I never heard anybody say that. And if somebody says that, their ignorance doesn't then force me to do something to make them know it even more. No, I'm fab regardless of what you think. And what you know about my culture doesn't change just because you feel like you don't understand it and know it. No, the track record speaks for itself. The track record speaks for itself. I'm a Black American, African American. Those terms are interchangeable in my mind. It speaks for itself. I don't have to figure it out for you. I think there are some people who are disrespectful and rude and mean about it. Like, oh, I don't get it and I don't understand it. Okay, well, go find somebody else to explain it to you, because that's not my lot in life. I'm not going around trying to explain to somebody who came into the United States on a visa that Black Americans fought for them to have during the Civil Rights Movement, or their parents to, you know, come in on those visas, who sitting at Morehouse on Martin Luther King Drive, and you are part of Alpha Phi Alpha, and you eating, you know, greens and macaroni every day for lunch in the auditorium, and you talking about you don't understand African American culture because you are from, you know, immigrant from West Africa. No, I think you're being divisive. Okay, you listening to rap music and gospel music, and you were in a cotillion, and you were a part of the debutante. I'm not engaging in that behavior just because people want to drag you down. That doesn't mean that, oh, now we get to say something. Like, I'm for it if it doesn't cause further division, and if it does, I'm not for it. And I don't think this whole Sulan and FBA, no, I think it's divisive. I don't think it was intent on being divisive. I like saying divisive now because my mom be saying divisive. Instead of divisive, she be like divisive. Yes, come on, divisive. I love a divisive. I'm not interested in it. Nobody can force me to be anti-African because I'm not anti-African. I don't care if they say something that's anti-African American. It doesn't, okay. Yeah, but I'm not going to shade them in an anti-African way or a xenophobic way because I'm not xenophobic. I know how to shade people without engaging in phobia. Hello? And I really think that's some of the girls' problems. Like, they're like, how you do? I don't have to tell you what's going on. I don't have to go around and help you understand African Americanness. You are quite literally a member of Kappa Alpha Psi, and you talking about Black Americans don't have culture. Like, I don't have to tell you that. I'm you know, Tupac and, you know, is your favorite rapper that's ever lived. You're going around quoting Martin Luther King every single day. I don't let trolls convince me that a few ignorant people represent the bulk of the Black community. And also, I do believe that when people ask you where you're from and they continue to ask you where you're from, I do believe that the majority of people, I'm not saying all, I think the majority of the people genuinely do not know. And they're asking you in a way that they're trying to inquire. You know what I'm saying? And those people who are like, I don't understand where African Americans are from. I'm from, you know, X country. Yeah, you are an immigrant. And there's nothing wrong with being an immigrant. We embrace immigration and the beauty of blackness. But Black Americanness is an ethnicity. Being African American is an ethnicity. And I don't need to clarify anything further for you. You can go do your research, especially when you're in my country, on my home turf, and in my territory, and you getting online saying that you don't understand. It's just you showing your ignorance. Hello? No. And I can help you if I like you, but if you sound like you being shady, I'm not gonna help you. Go help yourself. You know what I mean? Like, that's not gonna make me change my name. I'm gonna change my identity, and I'm gonna be the X, Y, and Z. And I understand people are saying, well, it's about growth, and yeah, I can get into it if the movement wasn't co-opted by so many people who are xenophobic. My issue isn't with the name per se. My issue is with the xenophobia. It's not with the name per se. You know, it's the xenophobia. If it's an evolution, if it's growth, I don't mind that. Y'all start getting into just derogatory. I can't get into that. Sorry, beloved. Speaking of which, okay, child, we are in Mauritius, and you know, Mauritius is a very diverse country, guys. Very, very diverse. Almost 70% of the population of Mauritius is of Indian descent, and almost all these tourists at the resort are white. Yes, honey. I did see a black lady check in today with her two, and her husband and her 2 kids. I think her husband is Indo-Mauritian. But she's dark skinned with some braids. 2 knotless braids at the resort. Oh my God, guys, I got a mic. I don't know if I told y'all, but I was using a mic before, and I just didn't like it. But somebody commented on my post again, like, can we get a mic because, you know, the camera sounds are loud. Girl, I'm finna block you, because now you get on my nerves. Okay, check out. I just started liking this and not feeling embarrassed. And now you finna run me off the internet. Get into the lashes. Samantha's number 7 by Huda Beauty. Okay, let's see. Baby, when I tell you the lash glue be all everywhere but where it needs to be. The lashes be everywhere but it needs to be. Everywhere but where it needs to be. Y'all know what's so cool? This black girl said she took a course on how to cornrow her hair. And I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. I know how to cornrow my hair. It's not like good enough to go outside. If I concentrate, I can. Like I used to braid Kennedy's hair, and like enough to go outside. I feel like I wish I had more pictures, because child, on so many pictures we traveling in, when she was like super small, she just had like 1 puff. And people really be looking at me like I am just all kinds of trifling. You know, black people, if you don't have your hair, you know, 1 ponytail is like, you know, halfway trifling with a kid. You know that, you know, black folks don't play that. And some of my followers are a little bit older women too. I mean, my followers run the gamut when it comes to age. Okay? And you know how older black women, they do not play about no hair. They like, why this baby don't got her hair done, and why she don't have earrings on? Hello. And I think also it doesn't really help because Kennedy is sometimes biracial presenting. I know Kennedy's gonna be so mad when I say that. Like biracial presenting. Sometimes you present biracial. Okay? Ask your daddy. Alright? But because of that, I think it's the pressure is a little bit worse though. Because there, you know, it's always this stereotype, you know, biracial people don't put work into their hair because, you know, they think they want to let their curl pattern speak for them. It's just an ongoing stereotype in the black community where, you know, it's like, oh, she's biracial, honey. That's why she don't got her hair done, because she want everybody to see this 3, you know, A hair or whatever. Obviously, I don't subscribe to that. I think it's an ongoing stereotype for sure. And so there was always just a little bit pressure when I was, you know, trying to do Kennedy's hair, to make sure I was doing her hair and making sure it was braided up, because I didn't want the mothers to come for me to be like, oh, you know, she don't do her kid hair. I think these lashes are good. And then I'm just gonna put on the Fenty. Yeah, I'm just gonna apply the Fenty, and that's gonna be my face of the day, dolls. We have FaceTimed and yapped, have we not? I might change that. We'll decide. Okay, guys, this is the dress. Ooh, going all the way back. It's from Meshki. I decided to put these Spanx on and pull them all the way up because I didn't like if they stopped in the middle. And I don't mind it being see-through right here. It's just the back doesn't cover my butt fully. So the crack is exposed and I don't want to be trying to pull it up all night. See how low that cuts on me? But I don't like this mesh flesh tone looking color because I don't think it's that flattering, but we move. A little bit of Pat McGrath, the YSL earrings. This is the clutch, though I think the clutch is gonna be for the show. Tom Fords. I meant to say Tom Ford for Gucci. I always call these Tom Fords. They're Gucci, but they're from the Tom Ford era. Also, we need a little spray. A little anniversary. I want you to come take this off of me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you get to offer me. 20 years. I'm not gonna lie, 20 years is crazy. I kind of want to recount. Because 20 is crazy. 20 years and I'm only 20 years old is crazy. Hello? No, I wouldn't go back to 20 to save my life. There is no world where I will want to be in my 20s. Absolutely not. Maybe 30, 35, but 20s, 20, 21, 20, no, none of the 20s. Keep them. They were very working very hard. Oh, the 20s were the ghetto. And you don't really know they're the ghetto. You feel like you're grinding, but you will soon realize they're the ghetto. And the beginning of the 30s is ghetto too. And if you don't play your cards right, the rest will be the ghetto too. But 20s is universally the ghetto. Mr. B and I headed to dinner. I got my off-shoulder meshki on, guys. Mr. B is talking about how in so many of our viral videos, he has this red shirt on.
It's not really red. It's
orange. It's like a tomato red mixed with orange. Yeah, we have on the same color, though.
How specific you are with colors.
I'm a colorful girl. I have a colorful life. That's my...
Yeah. Wow. I gave you a compliment.
Oh, thank you. You don't have to stop every time I stop. You know, I'm trying to catch the light. Trying to make sure the girls are still with me.
Well, I'm something like security. I can't be too far away.
Love you, please. And where are we going? The buffet?
The buffet.
This is just a little buffet dress. Oh, we got to go around the lobby. I don't actually remember that, but we are going to make it work. It's a beautiful night out here. We turned around a little musty corner. Somebody was in this corner a little musty. Snow shade. Y'all know how I feel about the French. Love them. But my girls could do a little bit of what? Aluminum. Guys, this is my second time recording this because the first time was on slow motion. But I need you to see Mr. B, the walk of shame. No shame at all. I'm going to be walking around looking like Angela Bassett. And Mr. B is going to be diabetic. Because why? What? 3 desserts is completely unnecessary. Chocolate. What's the other one? Banana, coconut, and pistachio ice cream. Any shame? Speaking to the mic.
No shame.
Living the dream. Meanwhile, guys, I have finished my food. I had fish and a little bit of rice. Little rice, because I'm living a little. So I had some rice. I was going to have vegetables, but I said, you know what? You're on vacation. You can have a little rice. The fish is amazing. Anytime you're on an island, you want to make sure you have fish. Okay, she's back, guys. So y'all know I got this massage earlier today, which was amazing. 10 out of 10. Love it. But they gave me all this oil, so I didn't have to put any more oil on when I went to dinner. So now I'm like, let's see if this works eating in the shower. Because they were just swearing up and down. They were like, you don't need to do anything. Girl, we finna see. We're about to see, honey. These lashes are coming right off. Miss Thing, I'm kind of sad that we forgot to take the Do Not Disturb light off. So we didn't get any turned out service yet. I just have my Bioderma wipes. I wish I would have bought my pharmacy like melt away, which is so good. But we're gonna do this and then I'm gonna actually wash my face in the shower. Honey, let's see if this oil keeps my body moisturized. Let's see. Yeah, darling. Good morning, party people. Good morning. This is my breakfast dress. I woke up to some devastating news that the brand Hanifa is taking an indefinite pause, and I don't even know what I want to say yet. I have thoughts, but I'm like, let me calm down first before I say my thoughts. But this dress is from another black brand that I love and adore, Nia Thomas, and it's so cute. I feel like I might wear it later on. This is a dinner outfit. I feel like it as well. And then I just have on my Zara dad sandals. Again, it's just a breakfast outfit. So this necklace is from Zara, by the way. But yeah, this is my dress. So fun. Maybe I'll take it in a cute location. And then I just need some shades, and we just have our tote bag that we've been using from the resort, which I'm so happy about. I have changed into an Andre Yama number. We were relaxing in the room after breakfast. Breakfast was great. I just had some fruit and some coffee, but it was light and fun. Now we're going to, this hotel has an island apparently that you can go to and have lunch. So I'm excited to do that. And they also have, I'm assuming, a beach. I know you ain't got no island without no beach. So this is my little beach get up and outfit. Party people, guess what? Oh, I forgot to do outfit of the day. I don't know how with my Andre Iyama, but this is my Andre Iyama set. Now, the pants are a medium, they're too big, so when I got on the boat, I just rolled them up. We're back from the island. 10 out of 10 experience, kind of want to go back. Would definitely go earlier. I would definitely go at like 10 and spend like 10 to, I don't know, or like 10:30 to like 2:30. 10:30 to 3:30 or 10:30 to 2. But we went at like 1 to 4, and that was a great time, but like even more time there. And we just literally lounged. Mr. B actually went to sleep. I did not go to sleep. I was a little in, but y'all know I was watching the news. Now, today is our actual anniversary. I know I've been celebrating all week, but today's our actual anniversary, so I'm gonna actually put on some makeup and like do my edges and stuff. I'm excited about that. Also, this is Zimmerman. The blue swimsuit I had on is from Amazon. So remember, I had the top on yesterday, and then when I was like lounging around, I had on my Jock Mousse. You know, the girls who now, the Jock Mousse, okay? You gotta break the Jock Mousse. This is a piece, okay? If you don't know about this, that's okay, all right? That's fine. But this, darling, is for the girls who understand pieces, all right? This is a Jock Mousse piece. I have to throw this on and break her out. So that's what she's giving, all right? Outfit of the day. Now I think I'm gonna like rinse off. I already rinsed off earlier from just being outside in the sand. But I'm like, I might have another rinse off in me. Mr. B might do a full on shower. It's funny because I said, oh, I'm gonna do a shower. I'm gonna just rinse off in the shower with no shower gel. And honey, before I knew it, I didn't put shower gel. Just to get, you know, the hot spot. I feel like on vacation, you take more showers because it's just so hot, you know? I feel like I'm gonna do that again. My skin is gonna be mad at me, but I'm literally in the shower for like 90 seconds. My skin is not so dry. I'm not constantly washing it and putting more moisture on it or putting more body cream on it because I have dry skin. My body is dry and I can't keep doing that. But you know what? The sun loves me. The sun is loving me and I'm loving the sun. So yeah, that was my outfit for the day. Guys, they just came in our room and bought us, oh my God, a cake. First of all, that everyone, like the staff, signed this congratulations. And let me show you the cake. It's so cute. Congratulations, Mr. B. And they brought us some sparkling, what is that?
Juice.
Sparkling juice. They have lots of sparkling juice for us. We have another sparkling juice over there because they know we don't drink. But get into that. You Mr. B is trying to help me while I am in distress because Hanifa has announced that they are pausing indefinitely. And people who criticized Hanifa but are still very much fans of Hanifa, I think they're like, okay, maybe we took it too far, but also maybe she will improve whatever, you know, and then come back new and improved or whatever. I don't know. I'm trying to sum up what people are trying to say optimistically, and my thing is this: I'm not buying it. Those of us who are over 30, maybe over 35, we have never lived in a time where we have had this much choice and agency in Black brands. We've not had access to this many Black brands at once. And I mean in America. We haven't had access to Black brands abroad. We haven't had access to Black brands here. There has literally never been a time in our history where we could curate hundreds, nearly thousands of pieces in our closet from Black brands. Now, people who are obviously from the African continent can say that, but in America, we've not been able to do that, and we've come really far, and I just want to acknowledge that because I think it's really important. But I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I don't, obviously, like I said in my other vlog, literally my last 2 vlogs, I talked about this, and you can see my train of thought changing, okay? I feel a way about Hanifa, feeling the need to pause. And the reason why I say that is because she could have done this without announcing it. Do you understand what I'm saying? If it were a pause for a short term. And I know some of y'all not gonna understand that because you want to be so optimistic and you want to believe that this is, you know, just a snafu in the road. No. It is not a snafu in the road. It is a change that is so big that I don't think that any of us know where this is going, right? Because if Hanifa wouldn't have came out with an additional line for 2 months or 3 months, I don't think that many people would have noticed, okay? I shop Black brands, and one of my favorite Black brands has not launched a new collection in over a year. I noticed, okay? But not a lot of people noticed because the website is still up. They're still selling things. But I noticed that they didn't launch a new collection because I shop them every single season. Do you understand? And I have pieces from their collection. So I noticed. And so those brands didn't announce that they were hitting a pause. They just decided to slow down. They just decided to restructure. Brands will close shops, they'll close different they don't necessarily announce it. And so I think she is announcing it for a reason. I don't know. But I want to send so much love, appreciation, and admiration for Hanifa, for the size inclusivity, for the color, the texture, the quality. I actually really love the brand. And this is why y'all don't have a fashion line from me, period. Because I just got some money. I just got me a little bit of coins. So what do I look like gathering all my coins, investing in a brand, and people are like, oh, this brand doesn't have a runway, they don't have enough money, and you know, they had to do pre-sales and they don't have a 3-month runway. United Airlines, American Airlines during COVID had to almost shutter their doors. They needed a bailout because they couldn't pay their people after 2 months. After really a month. And y'all talking about Saks Fifth Avenue just closed. Huh? Neiman's is on the brink every other day. Like, of course, that is America. That is capitalism. That's the way it works. I said this in the beginning. I think that people critiquing the customers and using classes and elitist language to be like, oh, y'all could never afford any. No, I think that's problematic. Period. Full stop. But I am so deeply concerned with, I don't know how Black brands exist in capitalism with consumer behavior the way that it is. Some consumer behavior, which is public complaints. And people think that they're doing it in the name of community. And people feeling like, oh, if you say I can't, you know, I can't critique Black brands, then you are blaming me as a Black consumer, and that's anti-Black and this is anti-Black. Many things are true at one time. Believing from a consumer perspective that you can critique a Black brand because they don't have Amazon shipping is crazy. That's not just a Black brand, a small brand, it doesn't matter. right? A small brand is not Amazon. We have the Amazonification of clothes, the Sheinification of clothes. There is a perception that if you pay more, maybe you'll get it faster. Maybe it's more streamlined. Maybe, and as a consumer of brands, that sometimes, a lot of times I have to pay more. I can tell you with 100% certainty that is almost nearly not the case. You cannot walk into Louis Vuitton or Christian Dior, and I'm not saying Hanifa's Louis Vuitton and Christian Dior. Don't come. Don't come. I didn't send. Don't come. I didn't send for. I see you walking. You might want to. I'm not sending for you. I'm not saying that Hanifa is Louis Vuitton and Dior and Gucci and Hermes and all the things, but I am saying to you, if you shop those brands ready to wear, and even if you don't, it's nothing wrong if you don't. I see you typing the elitist classes. No. Even if you don't, all right? But some people may not know that ready to wear, you have to order it a season or two in advance. And it'll say it's coming March 21st and it's not coming until May 3rd. And you better be at home because they will drop your $2,000 outfit off at your door and you will be fending for yourself, okay? And I'm not saying that's a good model. And I'm not saying that because 1,000 people work at LVMH and they're able to do that and they have manufacturers that small or black brands should be able to do that. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying I don't know how black brands exist ethically and perfectly in a capitalist system that is not designed for black brands to succeed, and it is also not designed for black consumers needs to always be met. It is a conflict. I am reflecting on the idea of that conflict. And it makes me really sad. We're already in a position where, you know, Pat McGrath, which was valued at $1 billion at one point, $1 billion is now no longer viable. If you like black brands, if you like the ethos, if you like the story, if you like the imagination, if you like the color, if you like culture-centered brands, this is going to affect you. I think there are black brands right now who are shaking in their boots and they're probably afraid to release a collection because they've seen the venom. It doesn't, I understand people like, well, I didn't intentionally mean to do this and that and that. And I saw many people trying to counter that. But I think we are so used to this culture of complaint online. And when people say anything or do anything that, you know, it's like, well, I don't necessarily know if you should be doing it that way. Not everybody anti-black. I don't know how to feel. I know so many people are like, you know, this is a lesson, you know, people will come back stronger. And I'm just like, let me get offline before I cuss everybody out. Let me get offline before I curse everybody out, because some of y'all are too young and some of y'all are too naive and y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all online being so naive and so young. And I'm not saying this to be, you know, pessimistic like that, but I'm just like, that's not how any of this works. I also am trying my best to be like, you know what? Everything isn't forever. There are some true, you know, Hanifa fans out there, and we will be there whenever she needs us to be, and everything doesn't have to be about growth. Because for me, if I were to launch a brand, my brand would also be really culture centered, and that's why I think what she is doing resonates with me so much, because it would be really culture centered. And I love that she's doing that, and she's just not like, you know, buying cheap product and then, you know, selling it back to us at a higher rate. And I'm not saying it's anything specifically or inherently wrong with that. I think there's some ethic challenges to that. Not every brand is ethical, but and for me, I don't necessarily know if I want to participate in that type of, you know, something that's not as ethical. But I definitely understand why people don't, you know, commit all of their resources and have to do things over time, whereas other small brands, you know, they'll be in business for a year or two, and then Revolve will just, you know, purchase them, sell them, help with the manufacturing. You know, these white brands, these white girls get to do that, and black brands don't get to do that. Black brands don't get to exist in the same spaces that white brands do. You know, and I, as a customer who's a black woman, it's always sad for me when I see brands that I know and love and trust start pivoting to a more quote unquote diverse audience. And what I mean when I say diverse, I mean like, you know, one white girl posts an outfit and they're posting it in the main feed, even though almost every customer is black, right? But that customer begins to lose value because of customer patterns. And, you know, I have to read a dissertation on how that's anti-black, right? Because we all know that in so many ways it is and can be. It's just frightening. I just don't know how we exist outside of existing in communities. I don't know how we exist ethically in a way that's sustainable and feels good. And people also feel the right to publicly critique. I'm not one of those people. I know that's groundbreaking as someone who does closet confessions, okay? And listen, have a critique, but I'm just not those people that do that, you know? I'm not one of those people. And I know people are like, that's how secrets are kept. And, you know, when black people can't talk bad about other black people publicly, you know, that's how secrets, and that's how we're not family. Does that make sense? We really can't operate in this way. I don't know. I'm feeling a tremendous amount of emotions. I don't know if I should do a separate closet confessions about this. I've been trying to avoid it because I feel like it will do numbers in a way that is probably unnecessary. I also just think that people are truly divided here. I don't think that there is a consensus in any way. I think that people are truly divided. There are people who are like, no, she should have did this. And then there are people like, no, the community deserved better. The community is right. And I'm like, I don't know how to feel. I truly don't know how to feel. Because part of how I feel is not well. But I knew to get offline. Because it's a bunch of, girl, I hate to say it. I know I sound like an old fogey. But I'm like, it's a bunch of like day 7. You know, we're day 1. It's a bunch of like day 7. You know, Hanifa was their graduation outfit from college. Like 2 years ago, inserting themselves like, and I'm not saying just because you are a day 2 Hanifa supporter, but it's just like, child, do y'all see what these tariffs are doing to people? If it was just about the communication, I just feel like it could have happened in a better way. I'm just like, I'm gonna consistently stand on that. Like if I had a complaint to lodge, I'm gonna see if somebody else is lodging a complaint first. And then I'm gonna see if that was in the comments, like, okay, that was my experience. But if y'all think for 2 seconds I didn't go in the people who complained video just now, literally, and I went to go look it up, and I screenshotted it, because I know y'all gonna be the main ones in a couple days saying that y'all really, what y'all were saying was this and what y'all were saying was that. It didn't have to be as viral as it was. People are like, well, it didn't have to be as viral, but y'all know TikTok messy. Some people had legitimate concerns, allegedly. And then some people, it was very clear that this was, you know, this was their influencer moment. And I just think it's so nasty and unfair. And again, people are like, this is gonna make them stronger. No. The amount of would-be brands that this has stopped is more than y'all will ever know. Baby, people out here, I know $200,000 and $300,000 seems like a lot of money to y'all, but it is really devastating when you are investing that much of your own money and people are ripping you to shreds. That is my worst nightmare. I can't do it. Huh? Baby, there's no generational wealth here. I don't know what y'all think this is. This is blood, sweat, and tears. Up nights and weekends. Honey, what? Stress and disrespect. This is getting to doors and white girls acting like they don't know your name. This is PR people not responding to you. This is your favorite brands deciding that they don't want to work with you because you had a bad month and your followers decided they didn't want to, you know, like a little content or something. This is, you know, this is years of going to school. This is dealing with, you know, bosses in your early 20s. This is like literally dealing with stress and PMDD and all kinds of things. This life is not by happenstance, my love. This coin is homegrown. This coin comes from doing the work, pounding the pavement, sending resumes and following up with connections and doing all kinds of things to make sure this life can be had. This is saving and not doing things that you wanted to do and not splurging the way that you wanted to splurge. And then to invest that all to be like, oh, I want a brand with meaning. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what the white women say when they say that black women need to stop launching brands with all this meaning and need to just focus on making, you know, they need to focus more on making money. Because I'm like, yeah, because then you see your consumers differently. Then you're like, you know what? If my consumers don't do this, they're going to complain. People are like, yeah, we are getting respect. We're demanding respect. Y'all need to have that energy for Target. Yeah, I know some people have that energy for Target. But some of y'all, again, I hate saying y'all because I feel like the people who isn't doing this are the main people that's going to be offended by it. That the people who aren't doing this. Meanwhile, the people who are, baby, they not even watching this video. The people that are complaining and doing the, you know, the harsh things. But I said in my last video where I talked about this, I said, I don't know if the brand is going to survive. And that scares me a tremendous amount. That scares me as a person who would do this. And as a person for whom this is a brand that I love and have recommended. It's also a recession, guys. People are also working without investment. And I think because a lot of black brands have mastered social media, that people just automatically assume everything is gravy. Also, sometimes people pocket watch. Again, I'm not coming for consumers. If this is not you, it don't apply, let it fly. If it don't apply, let it fly. I'm not coming for you. I'm just talking generally, right? I just think sometimes we're like, okay, well, everything seems to be good. Where are my things? People are like, they don't listen. They was like, okay, people knew he was giving birth, but they was like, child, okay, where are my things? I don't know how to avoid it, and that scares me. And I'm like, oh, y'all can't get it. You can't get it from me. If you get something from me, it's gonna be small. It's gonna be an accessory, okay? It can't, listen, not heart and soul. Heart and soul, fit and design, sample packs and manufacturing, and ethical work conditions, and paying, and customer service, and PR, and dealing with the fashion industry. No, that put the nail in me. And I know that some founders are like, or some, you know, influencers need to rush to be founders. You know, what's the next iteration? And I don't think it's because, like, okay, a lot of influencers are like, being an influencer is not cute and you want to put founder in your bio. And, you know, I don't actually think, I don't know. I've heard a couple of people say that. And I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think that's the case for some people. But I think, you know, some people are aging out of the system, if we're being honest. And I think it's difficult to critique if you don't know what it's like to deal with, you know, aging out of the system. And I don't mean from a follower perspective. I mean from a, when almost all of these brands, their entire digital influencer team is 20-year-olds and they don't know you. It doesn't, you can have 1 million followers, but if they don't know you, and of course, how would they know you? And they 20 years old. And I know I have followers that are 20 years old, but I'm just saying they are following the Alex girls and the popular black girls until they age out of the system. And so a lot of people don't recognize that X amount of dollars, even 3 years ago, that money is not the same anymore unless you are perpetually pushing LTK. Unless you are perpetually pushing links down people's throats. There are people who are pushing links down people's throats that are making more money than brand deals. But I think it is a natural evolution to want to put something, especially if it's culture focused. I know for me as a black creator, you know, culture and identity and taste and my travel and my, you know, education, those are all things that, you know, align with my values, right? I think it's really important to put that work together for your people, especially when it matters. And I think that's what a lot of people are searching for. They're searching for deeper meaning. It's not just about, okay, how do I shed this influencer image? It's also about you know, this is a growth opportunity. I've made money for years for these brands, only for them to discard me when I, you know, grow 2 years older. And I could also be making, you know, this money for myself. I don't see anything wrong with that, per se. Especially, again, it's a culture-led brand. I think there is something about ownership that is starting to draw me near, where for years I wasn't necessarily aligned with the idea of ownership because it just doesn't align with my value. It just hasn't aligned with my values, right? It's why I'm not a landlord. It's why people are like, oh, is your property in South Africa, is that an Airbnb? No, I'm not buying up land in people's country and buying a nice house because I can afford it and the local people cannot, and then selling it back to them at a crazy price when they want to have a birthday party. Huh? Like, America experienced that. Why would I then go do that in Africa? No, I'm not. Listen, that's not my jam. That's some people's jam. That's not my jam like that. And I understand that's how people decide they want to build wealth, by being landlords. That's not my jam. I'm not coming for you. I'm just saying it's not for me. Okay? This is not Liberia colonialism. It's not my thing like that. I'm not into imperialism in that way, and I'm not saying I'm capable of being an imperialist just by my lonesome. But I think at the end of the day, I am an American. Okay? And while I don't feel like it's at the forefront, who knows where it is. But I'm not trying to find out. Amen? Amen. Child, putting a lash on is traumatic. I saw this girl on TikTok say she taught her husband how to put her lashes on. God forbid. Darling, we can go nowhere without the infallible anniversary face. Ooh. Yeah, I'm putting my makeup on, Mr. B. Child, Mr. B is right here across this makeshift little wall, and he thinks something's wrong with me every 10 seconds. Nothing wrong, Mr. B. Just beating this face, doll. Okay, let me put the dress on because the dress is white, and then I'll put the lip on. Okay? But we have to leave the room in like 2 seconds, and Mr. B always waits until I'm completely dressed, and he's like, oh, let me get up and get dressed at 2 miles an hour. No. If you wanna wait, you gotta hurry up, okay? Period. Yeah, don't hurt him, sister. See, this is how I mess up. Put no extra prop. Now, why would I do that? And I know damn well I gotta take nighttime pictures. Lovey, can you make sure we have the flash and everything in the bag and ready? They're coming to the room in 10 minutes. Guys, this is my outfit of the day. Okay, this dress is Christopher Esper. It's a beautiful dress. It's just way too long for me. And I have on my purple Oran sandals. Nobody will see them, hopefully, because my pedicure is not good. And then this back. Come on, Lovey. They can see you. He's stepping in, guys. Come on. Linen top by
Zara.
And pants by Zara, espadrilles. I said black pants.
And I said I don't have black pants.
Oh, you didn't bring your black pants?
Oh, I actually do have black linen pants. He didn't say.
I 100%
The Zara
that.
pants you just got black. I said I got gray and green and tan.
What? Who makes the other pants?
Banana Republic.
Okay, well, black pants. It's fine, we can wear this. It's okay. This is my dress, guys. And this is Mr. B. Guys, the makeup kind of tore it. It's no shade. The anniversary makeup tour. Why is this light like this? Only a man would put a light up there. Why is the light on my forehead? But get into the, y'all were with me when I put the makeup on. Now I need to take the makeup off. Oh, anniversary dinner was cute. Darling, right?
It was.
20 years is crazy.
You want the light on in there?
We need a recount. I need a recount for sure. Because 20 is wild. I feel like 20 years is like an accusation. Like, oh, y'all been married for 20 years? Yeah, it's crazy. I'm gonna stop talking about being married for 20 years. And guess what, guys? Usually when I post my husband on Instagram, I lose about 400 followers, maybe 500. I'm not saying please follow me because no, I don't. If people want to unfollow me because I'm married, I totally get it. Also, it's really because of the kind of content that I create when I am critical of marriage, and then people who are new, they're like, oh, love her, woke woman, And then they see me posting loving content about my husband. They're like, who is this that I follow? Right? Like, whoa. Thought we were building here. No, she's not woke. They're like, oh, she's not woke. No, I am. You know, duality, but totally get it. Don't want to sign up for couples content unintentionally. Totally understand that. And I posted my husband like 3 or 4 times. Like, I think I posted you on Instagram like 3 or 4 times in like less than 2 months. Groundbreaking, crazy, nasty work. Don't know what's got into me. My aunt who watches all my videos, hey, she's probably like, if you say 20 years one more time, I'm hanging up and reporting. Don't hang up and don't report. It's so interesting watching some of the brand owners that I follow, specifically Black brands, comment on the Hanifa situation, and not like they're sending love to Hanifa as they should, about Hanifa the brand as they should, but they're also like, you know, they're like, listen, it's hard, it's vulnerable, it's not for the weak. Like, listen, I was gonna tell y'all something earlier, but I'm glad I waited till this moment to say it. But there was a brand that I liked and I still like, but I had not purchased anything from that brand. I saw them at an event, and turns out the owner, the designer, she follows me. And so I was like, you know, I said, oh, I like this brand, but I'm just interacting and engaging. She's like, oh my God, I follow you, yada, yada, yada. And I was looking at this very specific, you know, pant. And then she's like, oh, I was like, oh, is this the only size you have? She's like, oh yeah, I can send you another size. I'm like, but people say that to me all the time and they send me nothing, which is fine. I don't care. And also I intended on buying it, but I didn't put it in my notes, and I just ended up not buying it. Long story short, she reached out, DM'd me, said she wanted to send it to me, sent it to me. I believe, I could be mistaken, but I think she sent it to me like 4 months ago. I have been on like 3, maybe 4 vacations since then, maybe 3. One was warm, and she reached out to me twice and asked me when was I going to wear the pants. The pants are resort wear pants specifically. And because I didn't wear them in St. Thomas, it was just like, I actually was going to bring them here. Literally, they were already packed. They might still be packed, but they were already packed. I think I took them out. But the reason why I was going to wear them, I didn't go on a warm vacation. And I didn't wear them when I was in St. Thomas, only because I forgot. Not because, and I had a lot of selection, not of my own clothes. I usually pay for clothes. This designer was like, oh, you know, I think she was kind of trying to be polite. She was like, I think they don't fit. So can you send them back? I can send you a postage and you can send them back. Which was very weird to me, because if they didn't fit, now they did fit originally, they're a medium. Now they don't fit in the waist, but I'm used to that right now because I lost some weight. And so I'm getting my stuff tailored in real time in bits and pieces. And also I'm learning to adjust to having my clothes just be bigger right now. But she was like, send it back. And I was just like, that's never happened to me, where a brand was like, oh, you didn't wear something fast enough, send it back. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna send you another one or da 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 da. And so in my mind, I was kind of thinking, well, don't respond because you're about to wear it anyway, and then she'll see it. But honestly, guys, I've just posted my anniversary video, my anniversary photo. I've been to Cape Town. I've been gone for over a week, literally, and I don't get back until, you know, almost another week. And so by the time I start posting, which I will start posting tomorrow, I've been a week into my trip, so I'm kind of like a week behind. I was like, I think the lack of communicating, she will be like dragging me or something. So I was just like, okay, cool. You want the setback? You can have the setback. So she was like, oh, I'll send you a post thing. And then she emailed it to me. And then I was like, okay, this was the day before I was traveling. And I don't know if y'all remember, but it was a snowstorm. So I was like, oh, I'll send it to you when I get back. And she was like, okay, when will you be back? What? In that moment, I was like so enraged. And I was just like, first of all, nobody asked me to send stuff back. That's just weird. And then after the Hanifa, or during the Hanifa process, and I reflected on it further, I was like, you know what? This is a small Black brand. This might be 1 or 2, 3 pieces they have. She probably wanted it to be a gift, but because I didn't produce any content, now she needs it back, so she can probably send it to somebody else so that they can produce content, so that can be some promotion for her brand. Is it fair to me as a content creator who gets paid to promote brands? No, not necessarily. But it's like this unspoken rule amongst Black brands and Black creators that, you know, you promote their brand because you are a part of their ethos, you're part of their brand story, you know, they repost you, you might gain followers, you know, it is like a mutual community situation. Most of the, again, clothes that I purchase, even from Black brands, are overwhelmingly, you know, I purchase. What I wear, I purchase. And being a fashion creator is expensive, which is why I say, and it's not popular, but I say it to people, I think you need to be into fashion first. You need to invest in your fashion first before you become a fashion creator and say, oh, I want to be a fashion creator. Because I just think it's just really challenging. Or be a beauty creator first, a lifestyle, and then invest in fashion. Because you kind of do need money, in my opinion. But I was feeling away, and then I was just like, you know what? Let me just, I won't think, you know, she is kind of at me a little bit. But that was my fault for like allowing that layer of access to like when she messaged, I responded that clearly. I have hundreds of DMs. You know what I'm saying? So like my ability to even respond quickly is limited. And y'all know I like, comment, talk back to people every single day. But I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't feel away, because I was just like, why is she like, I was literally about to wear the pants. I took the pants out of the bag because I'm like, the last thing I need these pants to get is lost in transit. Okay, I don't need, because it was in my checked luggage. Okay, and I was like, this is the last thing I need. This lady asking for her stuff back. So I have some understanding, because I'm like, okay, you know, this is a small Black brand. Like, you know what I'm saying? She needs somebody, she wants somebody who producing her stuff. But this is why I hate taking stuff for free, because people feel entitled to that content. And they're like, oh, y'all, not they, Black brands never said this to me, but some people say this. They're like, well, y'all promote Christian Dior for free and y'all promote them. They don't need mother's promotion, you know? And I'm not saying that small Black brands do, but I'm saying like the spirit and energy is different. You get what I'm saying? Like, child, listen. I guess she said I wasn't wearing the clothes fast enough for her. Okay. I know that's right. I know that's right. I'm like, I guess 4 months is a long time, especially if she's moved on to another collection. But I quite literally, I cannot stand when brands do that. And it does happen to me every now and again. But that's why I almost never take free gifts, because I'm like, unless it's a brand I already work with, because I'm like, no, do not send me something for free and then ask me where the content is. Either it's a gift and you don't know how it's gonna go, or we paying for content. It is truly hard out here for Black businesses. And I'm like, girl, I'm a Black business too. I'm gonna help you. Girl, it may take me 4 months. Or like when people send me stuff unsolicited, or like they don't, you know, it's their first time and then it's like something that I wouldn't necessarily wear. Sometimes I do feel so bad because it's like, it doesn't align. And I know they're like, oh, this might align. And I feel like I probably do need to get in the habit of sending stuff back, since I now understand it from an inventory perspective. But like, I totally get why a lot of creators, and I'm one of them, don't like to get stuff for free, because it's like, ain't nothing in this life for free. People gonna harass you, honey. They gonna harass you. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to be harassed now. Harass is crazy. Harass is strange. I don't want to be harassed, honey. Dior Prestige that Dior sent me. Now this comes usually with no strings. That's the Dior. They got all the time in the world to send free stuff. Dior Beauty. Y'all know I used to get, Fendi used to send me free Fendi bag. What? A free Fendi bag. I think I've gotten like 3 so far. I'm like, who down at Miss Dior? Somebody down at Miss Dior need to come see the dog. Okay? But listen, this Hanifa situation is a cautionary tale. Alright? I know y'all are tired of me talking about it, but I'm not going to stop talking about it, because all businesses are vulnerable right now. Saks just closed. Child. Amico, like, listen. We are in a recession. This is a recession indicator. I do believe that Hanifa will get stronger and come back and do the things that they need, whatever they need to do, rebrand, whatever. I'm hopeful, because I love Hanifa clothes. Y'all not finna play with me. She makes clothes for the it girls. The aspiring it girls, the elder it girls, the younger it girls, all the it girls. And I just love her point of view. You know, I want to see her succeed. I also want to see more Black designers at New York Fashion Week. And I know that's not power. I know that's not powerful. I know that doesn't bring about systemic change. I know that it's cosmetic and it's representative, but I still would like to see it. Me personally, I would like to see it. I would like to go and cry and be in awe at culture-driven brands. Okay? Listen, that's my thing. Because I had a few people asking me, was like, oh, you should do a skincare video. I did one recently. It ain't even a month old. It's the worst video on my page. And it was Black brands, mind you. But that's okay. We're going to squeeze it in here. Fancy Skin. This is the Dew and Plump that I use. Okay. That's what I use. I use this day and night. So I travel with. This works great with the sun. Caudalie Vino Perfect. Okay. I use that day and night, but almost always at night. And sometimes in the day. But usually on vacation, I'm really good with skincare. And then the Lancome Gentrifique Ultimate at nighttime. I know I need to use a retinol, but retinol dries my skin out so much. People are like, oh, tretinoin. If I can barely use retinol unless it's a retinol oil, I definitely can't use tretinoin. Okay, tretinoin just dries the skin out. And I think it's for people with acne prone skin. I do not have acne prone skin, okay? My skin issues are, I technically have dehydrated combination skin, but I say I have dry skin. Okay, it's because I need to be drinking more water. Dior Prestige, this was free, so you don't have to buy this, guys, if you don't want to. They sent this to me for free, and I'm sure it's crazy amount of money. But y'all know I use Tatcha Night Cream, the L'Oreal, that's another good one. The L'Oreal is great. Live for the L'Oreal. I don't even know where my toiletry bag is. I think it's over there somewhere. But that's what I just use. But if you need an affordable cream, L'Oreal, just go to L'Oreal. L'Oreal to me makes superior products, drugstore products. I don't care how much money I got, all right? Or don't got. She will be a L'Oreal girl, all right? And also the L'Oreal serum. I always tell people, it is not a dupe for Caudalie, but it is very good on its own. And it is anti-aging, and so I use that as well. My response, this whole anti-aging, I'm not anti-aging. I am pro just quality skin, longevity, aging well, the art of aging beautifully and aging well. I'm not trying to stop my face from aging. It is what it is. So I just don't like the language of anti-aging, so I don't want to get caught up in it. I like the idea of having beautiful skin. And because I don't use retinol that often, I just focus a lot on hydration, because hydrated skin is healthy skin. Okay, I know I need to be steaming my pajamas like Jackie, ain't it? You know how Jackie be steaming her pajamas? They be looking so nice and cute. I mean, here's the thing. I will wear the same pajamas every day for 2 or 3 days. Is that bad? But I feel like if you take a shower at night, that's fine. No, I think that's fine. I'm just trying to make sure my husband's not listening and judging me. I think he is. Good morning. We are at breakfast. It's a beautiful morning in Mauritius. There's a big turtle over there. Can you see it? That turtle is huge. And it's sleepy. It's like, do not come out to play.
It's a tortoise.
Tortoise. What's the difference between a tortoise and a turtle? Exactly. Well, you trying to clarify. Okay, well, the science is. Yeah. Okay, there's no BBL allegations here. Okay, it's nothing but wholesome delight. It's a wholesome dress. You guys still can't see the bottom, but this is the bottom. Okay, it's like an ombre. Come on, Mr. B, we can look at Mr. B's. See, we're kind of matching.
That's what I said.
Kind of a, yeah, it's like a thing. But this dress is so long, because a lot of the designers whose clothes I shop, they are personally long people. They are personally tall, so. But this is cute. Maybe you can step back a little bit. Yeah, it's such a cute dress. Okay. And who makes your outfit? Banana what?
Zara.
Zara and YSL. Okay. There you have it. Greetings, guys. I just came back from dinner. It was seafood night. Okay, it was seafood night and the food was incredible and amazing. And guess what? I saw a baddie. I saw a true baddie. She had on like some incredible like knit resort wear. She had this cute bag that I saw on Moda Operandi. Y'all, she was so fly. I was like, okay, this is a fly girl. It was giving you fly girl alert. And she also smelled good. Oh, she smelled so divine when she walked by. I just loved it. But I didn't get to like say anything to her. She was moving really quickly. Let me tell you something. This Fenty doing plump hate to see me coming. It hate to see me coming. It's so good. I'm running out of my Caudalie. Oh, guys, I didn't answer this question on my stories on Instagram, but somebody asked me, how do I stop a man from cheating? The fact, first of all, the reason why I didn't respond to us, first of all, I feel like I was gonna say something so nasty. And the woman was probably asking me in earnest, like she really wanted to know, because I just feel like to ask somebody that, it has to be some level. There has to be some level of desperation that you would even type that, even privately to another person. I'm just like, after like I started reflecting, I felt really bad, and I was like, okay, let me just for 2 seconds, let me just process this thing. And I think I didn't respond on Instagram, but what I will say is I've just found that I think that a lot of women think that it's their fault. You know, they think it's something that they are doing. They think that they're not good enough. They're not big enough. They're not small enough. They don't make enough money. Whenever I see women bragging, very braggadocious way, like I brag on mine, I love on mine, it's always this delusion that they are somehow better than the next woman, and they are genuinely like confused when that person cheats on them. And a person cheating on you has absolutely nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. And we know from the women before us, it has nothing to do with us. It is culturally acceptable, and I believe that the best thing to do is to leave a man who decides to cheat on you. I think there is no other way. I don't think you can go see the pastor. I don't think you can go see the therapist. I don't think there's much that you can do, because once they cross that boundary, it's curtains. And I know women who are like, oh, well, I don't know them personally, none of my girlfriends, but I've heard people say, oh, well, cheating isn't a deal breaker for me. And it's just like, cheating is a gateway drug. And I just think you violate the culture of your relationship, and then you expect to get all the same benefits from that relationship. And I just think it's fundamentally unfair. And I think if women are capable of knowing culturally that they cannot cheat on a man and be with a man, right? And they see attractive men all the time, and they see men who want to be with them and want to have access to them, and they can somehow hold it together, I don't see why men who are married and took an oath can't do that. I don't see how, right? And then also there are women that are like, oh, I don't want to marry a man from a broken home because I came from a broken home and we're not going to know how to make a relationship work. We have to stop looking to, and it's no shade, we have to stop looking to relationships in decades where women were suppressed. We have to stop looking at those relationships as if they are a beacon of hope. Because just because somebody stayed together, or somebody comes from a relationship where their parents stayed together for 30 or 40 years, is not the flex or the green flag that y'all think it is. It can honestly be a red flag. They could be used to their mother standing by their father year after year after the father cheated on the mother. Right? And so I don't think it's a good measure to say, oh, he came from a 2-parent household, and so I should be able to make it work with him because he's used to that and he knows that. And it's just like, I see so many women and girls berate themselves because they came from a single parent home, right? I came from a broken home. My family won't come from a broken home. I don't know anyone that sets out to come from a broken home, quote unquote, the language is so problematic, or to break up their family. But you have to, I'm begging you, you have to leave if a man cheats on you, because he has become keenly aware before he committed the act of the consequences. He knew it was going to hurt your feelings at the bare minimum. He knew that it was going to break trust in you. You were going to reflect on yourself, your body, your hair, the way you speak, you cook, you clean in a negative way. You were going to internalize him cheating as a sign that you are inadequate. He knew that you were going to be checking DMs and trying to follow up and going insane. It was going to affect your physical and mental and financial health. He knew that y'all had kids. He knew that y'all had a dog in an apartment, and he still actively chose to do it. You don't have a choice but to leave. Because by staying, you make it even more possible for it to happen again, right? It just baffles me when women are like, well, I don't want to break the covenant that I have with God. He broke it. He broke it. That's between him and God. That doesn't have anything to do with you. Your duty is to leave. By staying, you betray yourself. You betray your kids. You betray your future self and your future self-esteem, your ability to make money. You are stressed out, right? And I've just seen so many women, I don't want my marriage to be a failure. Yeah, but that's what happens when you unfortunately marry a man with a complete character flaw, who is invested in the outside world, who is invested in other women and desires and can't control themselves. There is nothing more unattractive than a man who can't sexually control himself. When a man who is willing to risk his family, his wife, his partner's happiness for a piece of God knows what, the health of his wife, his own health, the growth and mental stability of his children. You cannot be with a man like that. You don't deserve a man like that, right? And I don't care if you think it's not a deal breaker. Societally, he has crossed a line that you will never be able to pull him back from. You will be dealing with that for the rest of your life, and he's going to up the ante. It's one thing if you catch him in a minor situation, but the boundary line is going to keep moving if you do not stop. I just fundamentally believe that. I don't know any woman that is in a relationship where the man has cheated on her and she has found out and that situation didn't deteriorate rapidly, right? And I get it. Your world is falling down, but you have to do what's best for you. Just take it as you are saving your future self. And I just think it's just so important that women listen to themselves. And another question that someone asked me was like, oh, what are the red flags of no good man, a man cheating, a man not worthy of this? A man who is invested in setting you straight, always trying to humble you and check you, always trying to dominate over you, always trying to tell you how you feel, how you're supposed to feel. A man that is constantly talking to you about how you dress, your makeup, what they prefer. This kind of mental manipulation around cosmetic things, to me, is a red flag. And I know you're probably like, well, what does it have to do with cheating? He notices too much. He is too in the weeds of women's business in that way. If he's noticing it on you, he's noticing it on other women. The way men talk about women's bodies, the vulgar nature, openly in front of you, men will ultimately let their guard down and their vulgarity will begin to show. And you just have to be mindful of people who they can't control their sexual urges. They believe that this is a man's right to be with another woman because he likes her, he desires her, he finds her sexually attractive. He has to constantly signal that he wants to be with her. And some men cheat for sport because they want to humble their partner, or they want this other woman. Like, all of those things are things that you have to be mindful of. And me, I never liked narcissistic men who were self-centered and full of themselves. And some women say, I like a confident man. Yeah, it's a thin line, right? It's a very thin line. And I've seen men, like when I went to college, I was surrounded by men who were like 6 feet, dark skinned, tall. They were in college, so they were going around saying that they were, extinct. And, they were kings, and it was a kingification. And you knew they were beautiful, but what I didn't expect and I didn't realize is that they know that they're beautiful, right? And so when you're in a situation where 70% of the people are heterosexual girls, and even half of those girls were from the South, and they were raised to want to go to college and get a man, right? Graduate with a BA and an MRS, right? And I wasn't raised like that, right? I was raised to go to college, move to a city, get a job, get an apartment, live your life, and maybe around 30, you might find a nice guy that you can be with. But what I realized on that college campus, and this happens at HBCUs all the time, is that these boys think that they are the cast me out. They have been propped up by society. My God, today. They mama's calling them Black King. Their daddy calling them Black King. Their school calling them Black King. They calling each other Black Kings. They want to dominate over women. They have women chasing after them, fighting over them. These are scholarly women, smart women. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm not about to play that game. That game I'm not about to play. And I knew very early on to make sure you are being loved properly, being supported by a man loving you, being interested in you, right? I remember when I had on my college campus, I used to be in this thing called the Great Debate with the African Studies program. That was my minor child. And we had a debate, and I was Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. It was a debate between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. I played both people. Whack, nerd, girl. And I passed out flyers all around campus. Literally, it was nobody in that auditorium. And Mr. B was there, and he was clapping for me. He was so happy for me. And I was like, you know what? People ask me, how did I know? I mean, this is what I wanted in my life, to the extent I wanted a partner, right? It's something I wanted in a friend. It's something that was familiar to me because my girlfriends cheered for me in this way, right? This is how we supported each other in friendships for women in years. And I knew platonic love existed in this way. But I had never experienced romantic love this way. All I knew prior to that was just men. You talking to a man, they're making sexual advances at you constantly, being vulgar, talking about themselves, the family that they came up in, and just a lot of bravado. And then you come to find out he talking to this woman and that girl and across campus. And, and I realized pretty early on I wasn't invested in that. And so, it just confirmed for me, I think, what I suspected when I was growing up, which was like, oh, I'm not willing to tolerate those things, the cheating, the men that have kids on women, competing with other women, checking through DMs and doing all these things. Oh, that's not the guy for me. I'm not gonna have any guy. That's what I was like. Oh, I don't get a guy. I was like, I tried, literally. And my husband wasn't like that. Even in school, he was always really generous, always really kind. I feel like there was some humbling I needed to do. I think there was some humbling I needed to do. I didn't have a car on campus, and I was like, oh, I don't have a car. And, I don't know how I'm gonna get back and forth, because he lived off campus, I lived on campus. And he had classes, I had classes, and he worked. So he was like, oh, I can just get you a car. And just like that, first of all, my college boyfriend bought me a car. Is crazy, right? I know that now, but this was over 20 years ago. But like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like that level of care and consideration, and just like showing signs that they are not invested in the game in that way, right? Like they're not gonna pit you against another girl. They're not about to be looking at other women's butts, right? Like they're not about to be liking other women's posts. They're mild-mannered. They're kind, they're constantly propping you up. These are characteristics that for me, I can say over, my marriage and some of my friends' marriages, I've noticed, right? And a lot of times women who those things do exist for their men, they're in really small quantities. And then the other bad characteristics, they're glossing over. So they're like, oh, I never noticed, because all the things that you said to look for, he has it in extremely small quantities, girl. Yeah, he's generous to you from time to time. Yeah, he thinks about you from time to time. He's making sure there's a meal on the table from time to time. There's these other things that you are glossing over, right? You can't account for his whereabouts. You can't account for his time. He's constantly hiding his phone. He's constantly texting on his phone. He's constantly, shouting at you whenever you call him out. He's bringing up your insecurities, your deepest, darkest secrets. He's dragging it back up. He's using finances to manipulate you. And in the beginning, it doesn't look like that. In the beginning, he's telling you he's a provider and he's gonna provide for everything and do no, that's a way to isolate you. When a man doesn't support you wanting to have access to your own money, wanting to work on your own, Listen, we can't do 1930s things. The things that women did in 1930s, staying home and doing all that didn't work for them then. So I don't know why you think it's gonna work now. And I know so many career women that wanna stay home with their children when they have a child. I think staying home for a year, maybe 2, whatever. But here's the thing. When you are financially isolated, you are more easily manipulated. And I just think it's something that women need to watch out for, because they know you can't leave. They know you're more likely to forgive them. There are men that, you know, they will make that calculation. They'll be like, yes, they know that it's wrong, and they'll do it anyway because they're expecting for you to forgive them, because for them, that is marriage. Marriage is forever. It's not faithful forever. It is forever regardless of what they do. Now you cheat on them and see how fast they leave you. It should be socially unacceptable generally, right? And not just for women. So, you know, that's my 2 cents. I don't have any experience. I've never experienced being cheated on. You know, I did have a little situationship in high school where a guy I was like talking to a couple of months into my college, I was still talking to him, and he slept with my best friend from high school. But it wasn't difficult. I wasn't having sex with him. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't difficult. I wasn't having sex. I not to say that you need to be emotionally, you need to be physically invested to be emotionally invested. But like, I talked to him once or twice a week. I think he wanted a piece of cookie. It wasn't happening. He didn't give me, oh, this is the first person I should be having sex with. No, he never gave that. So I felt something. But I never talked to him ever again in my life, and I never talked to her ever again in my life. Literally ever. Never talked to her again. If I seen her right now, I would walk right past her. Cause girl, for what? You know what I'm saying? Standing on big business. It just never gave that. It just never gave back and forth. I just told myself since I was a child, I didn't want to deal with anything like that. And so I think you owe it to yourself to just never deal with it. It is unfortunate. It might be the most devastating thing that happens to you, but you can't tolerate it. And I know some of y'all are out there, well, you never experienced this, so you don't really know. I believe it is one of the most gut-wrenching things a woman can do. I am not going to be afraid of time. I know I believe in God, I trust God, and I know that God has me. And if something goes wrong in my relationship, it is not because God has forsaken me. It is because that man has forsaken me. And God has given me the love, the tools, and the tenacity to pivot, no matter how raw and real it feels. And you just got to hang on to that every single day. You have to just believe that what's coming next is better than the horror that you feel. And that's all I can say, right? I'm not invested in abuse in that way. Another woman asked me about a man calling her names, like the B word and the H word. Baby, no. I don't play that. I never got into it with a girlfriend and she called me the B word, H word. Some of y'all used to y'all mamas calling y'all that. See, my mama never called me that. It never got that. It never gave that. There is nobody that calls me out of my name. My neighbor called me out of my name one time because he was drunk, trying to run up because he was having a mental psychosis, and I called the police and said, listen, we got a white man barefoot in the street acting a fool, okay? And they took him right on down to the psych ward, okay, at Rikers, and it was a weekend too. I don't deal with that. I'm not going to deal with that. You're not going to be violent towards me, verbally violent, physically violent. A part of being self-possessed, a part of being confident is seeing trauma when you are younger and actively choosing every single day, even if it's difficult, even if it's learned behavior, to do something different. And I'm not saying that it's easy. It's easy for me, a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but I just refuse to live that way. I refuse to live that way. I cannot live with the shame of knowing that somebody, because when somebody cheats on you, there's a series of things that had to happen. The woman just don't fall on me, right? You had to actively make a series of decisions knowing the consequences. And I'm not sure it can snowball and people like, yeah, but for men it's just act and this is, I don't care if it's just act. You knew it was going to cause problems. Why did you move forward in the situation? It's a judgment call. And I don't trust that level of decision making. That is faulty and that is problematic, and I can't get with it. That's how I feel. I just feel like you owe it to yourself to leave. You cannot. I don't know nobody who has survived infidelity. Nobody. People are like, oh, I remember so-and-so. No. Not when the other partner finds out. Maybe if the person cheats and then they don't say anything and then they get away with it or something and they never do it again because they're self-regulated or something. You know what I mean? Even that. But you get what I'm saying? Once a man disrespects you, there's no coming back from that. In my opinion. You have to say no to the fool-la-la. And that is fool-la-la and crazy and foolery. And you have signaled that you're open for crazy business. And you cannot be open for crazy business in any way, shape, or form. And again, I'm not saying I got the best guy, or I'm not saying that, guys. Listen, it can happen after 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. I'm saying I have the best guide. Hello? I'm saying that my faith in God is unshakable. Yes, I might get worried sometimes. But in my 4 decades of living, I want you to come close, my love, when I say this, especially if you're a young girl. In my 4 decades of living, I have spent so much time worrying about money, worrying about what's next, worrying about my future. And there is not a single time where I have lost a job, quit a job, taken a big leap, changed careers, that God did not provide for me, do for me exceedingly and abundantly. Like, I cannot even stress that to you. If I don't have faith in anything, I have faith in God that He will consistently and has consistently shown up for me in my darkest hour. And I just have to lean on that, because I'm not going to choose a man talking to me in my face and lying to me over God's will for my life. Because I know this might be too much to say, but like I just would feel like it's an affront to God to say, oh, I gotta stay, because that means I don't have faith in God on where He's taking me next. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that everything happens for a reason. I'm not one of those people. No, I think that people can do things and say things that alter the course of your reality and your history. I firmly believe that. I don't think it's all written, but I do think that we have a way, when we are grounded, when we are faithful, when we trust God, when we trust the journey that He has for our life. I believe that we can recover. I just have to believe that. I know that's probably not the perfect answer, but I haven't personally dealt with cheating. But I do know what it's like to be surrounded by narcissistic men who think that they're the cat's meow, men who are selling women dreams every single day. I could see straight through it. I don't care how attractive you are. I don't like that. I don't see how women are like, I like a swaggy man, and he that, and he, baby, you open your mouth and you start talking about what you gonna do for me and the next girl doing this, and oh, baby, no, I'm not competitive in that way. I never wanted a man that bad. I never needed a man like that. It never gave that. So, listen, I feel like I did a little closet confession. I am in the closet area. This is the closet area. So, I gave y'all a little mini closet compassion. I'm on vacation. So, I'm going to have me some jalapenos and find some sugar, because I know my husband got some sugar somewhere. I know he was tuning into this. He said he got his headphones on. I know he reported live from the scene. Lovey, do you have some sugary snacks? We need some sugary snacks, world.
I have Sour Patch Kids.
Ooh, good night. Morning, Mr. B, you're in the video. Okay, we are getting up. We got up early today, and we are headed to see the waterfall, because you can't come to Malaysia without seeing them. Oh, I'm sorry. We're up early this morning to see the waterfall, because you can't come to Mauritius without seeing the waterfalls. My sister, we have been relaxing, and now it's time to put an outfit on. I'm about to put on my black Zara jumpsuit that I burned a little bit trying to iron. That's okay. It's the last night, okay? I don't even think I'm going to do an outfit of the day. I probably should, because I'm sure people want the link, because I feel like I try to link my Zara stuff. You know, it's just a bit more accessible, I feel like. Let me put this on while I'm talking. Okay, this is actually, oh, wait a minute, bro. This is actually really cute. It's a jumpsuit. This is fab. Wait a minute, Zara. This is cute, isn't it? I think Mr. B just saying yeah. I feel like it's so cute. I'm like surprised because it didn't have much hanger appeal. You know, my menstrual cycle is coming. I'm not gonna feel like, you know, having everything out black, you know, kind of exposes. It doesn't really expose a lot. I brought my little Fendi. I really did not pack well for this trip, guys. I'm sorry, I did not pack well. Honey, I was all over the place, but get into it. Good morning. It is our last day in paradise. Our flight is today, but we're staying in our hotel until like 1:30, almost 2 o'clock. I think they're coming to pick the bags up at 1, and then we're out. So I got up early, but I'm just waiting on Mr. B because he's like, first of all, he's stunned that he has a sunburn. I'm like, you have a sunburn every trip. He's like, no, I don't. I'm like, yes, you do. You literally always get a sunburn. He's like, no, I don't. I do feel sorry for him because that's light skinned people problem. I also think it's so cute that this family is walking along the like low tide because you can actually get to this really small island. Like I really want to walk to that little island is because when the tide comes up so fast, and when the tide comes up, you have to walk through the ocean, and it's ideal that you should be able to swim, and I can't swim. You have been in the Indian Ocean, Pacific, Atlantic, like I've been to Thailand, I've been to Indonesia, I've been to Malaysia, I've been to off the coast of Japan, I've been to Maldives, I've been to everywhere, really. Some of the most amazing places in the world, and I still can't swim. I know. That's crazy. I'm gonna learn how to swim. But right now I need my husband to get ready so we can have a little breakfast on the beach. Once we have breakfast on the beach, we're gonna walk and then we're gonna chill. We're gonna do what we do best, which is relax on this beach. I just can't believe this is life, you know? And I know you're like, ma'am, you say that every month. But I promise you, I never take it for granted. Not even 1 second. Not 1 ounce, not 1 second. Let me tell you something. I have seen people fall so far from the grace that God has given them, so far from beautiful lives. And I'm not saying that the only reason why I'm grateful is because it can all be taken away. No, I am grateful because what is there not to be grateful for? Hello? Like, I don't have a care in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the life that I always wanted and dreamed of. This is a life that I prayed for. And I am like completely present in knowing that this is a beautiful life. Nobody has to tell me. There are times where when I look on the past, I wish I recognized how beautiful it was. I was so busy focusing on logistics. But honey, now I know. This type of freedom, this type of pace of living. And my husband, even my husband's grateful. He's just like, this is what I work hard for, you know? This is why I work so hard, to make sure that we can have this life for all of our days. And also when we retire, so that we can have so much ease. Like, I genuinely was like, there are very few places that I look at and I'm like, I can retire here. I'm looking at Mauritius. Mauritius. I want to retire here. That's how stunning it is.